World War I, one of the deadliest conflicts in human history. But how did it actually begin? Was it just the assassination of one man? Or were there deeper, hidden causes that pushed the world to war? In this video, we'll take you back to early 20th century Europe and break down the real story behind the start of World War I, step by step. To understand why war broke out in 1914, we need to look at what was happening in Europe long before the first shots were fired. Tensions had been rising for years, and four major forces were driving them. Number 1, militarism. Major powers were building up huge armies and navies. Germany and Britain were locked in a fierce naval race, each trying to outdo the other with bigger, better battleships. War felt not just possible, but inevitable. Number 2, alliances. Countries across Europe had made secret and public agreements to defend one another. On one side was the Triple Alliance, Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. On the other was the Triple Entente, France, Russia, and Britain. These alliances meant that any local conflict could quickly spread. Number 3, imperialism. European empires were competing for land and resources around the world, especially in Africa and Asia. This created constant tension between countries like Britain, France, and Germany. And number 4, nationalism. Across Europe, people were proud of their nations, sometimes to an extreme. Ethnic groups wanted independence. Countries wanted power and respect. Nationalism was especially explosive in the Balkans, where Slavic people wanted freedom from Austro-Hungarian rule.
What followed was a tense month of diplomacy and threats, known as the July Crisis. Austria-Hungary, without a blank check of support from Germany, issued an ultimatum to Serbia. Serbia agreed to most demands, but not all. So, on July 28, 1914, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. Russia, which supported Serbia, began to mobilize its military. Germany, in turn, declared war on Russia. France, allied with Russia, began to prepare as well. The alliance system kicked in like a row of falling dominoes, turning a regional conflict into a full-blown European war. Germany had a plan. It was called the Schlieffen Plan. The idea was to avoid a two-front war by quickly defeating France before turning to fight Russia. To get to France, German forces invaded Belgium, a neutral country. This violation of Belgian neutrality outraged Britain. On August 4, 1914, Britain declared war on Germany. Within just a week, most of Europe's great powers were at war. But how did this become a world war? Because European empires controlled much of the globe. France and Britain brought in soldiers from their colonies, India, Africa, Canada, Australia. Japan joined the Allies. And later, the Ottoman Empire joined the Central Powers. Battles spread to Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. By late 1914, this wasn't just a European war, it was a truly global conflict.
Let's summarize the causes of World War I in one word, MAIN. M. Militarism. The arms race created fear and suspicion. A. Alliances. Europe was tangled in mutual defense agreements. I. Imperialism. Global rivalries bred conflict. N. Nationalism. Ethnic pride and ambition pushed countries closer to war. And when Archduke Franz Ferdinand was assassinated, it set the whole system in motion, like a bomb with a very long fuse finally reaching its end. By the end of 1914, trenches stretched across Europe. Millions of soldiers were mobilized. Civilians were caught in the chaos. And the world would never be the same again. World War I lasted more than 4 years. It killed over 16 million people and set the stage for even greater conflict just 2 decades later. Understanding how it started helps us understand how fragile peace really is and how small events can have massive consequences. Thanks for watching. If you learned something new, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more historical deep dives.